So, Paul, I understand you went out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to talk to one of my favorite people ever because he is so smart.
He has got to be, when you think about it, the longest running radio personality in this market, because he's been on that radio network since the 60s.
Because he's so knowledgeable and
Yeah.
smart about racing. He knows everything.
Well, we'll see what he knows about maybe a little bit of racing history and the weather at the Indy 500. Is it going to snow this year? I figured I'd ask somebody else what the forecast
We've had some
was.
cold years before.
Yeah, let's find out with Donald Davidson. I remember you on the radio when I was a kid. I'm sure you're thrilled about that, but
That's all right.
I mean, it goes back a few years to, we have a picture here from a view from the old setup of the Motor Speedway radio. Now, what year would this picture be?
Might be 1990, because Bob Jenkins is in the shot, and Howdy Bell, and I'm in my usual slot there. And I'm guessing that was a qualifying day.
Yeah.
But just basically, just this little area down here was all there was.
Now, you're here with Sid Collins then in 1966. The people who maybe are my age, if they have a memory on the radio, I'm sure they're hearing Sid's voice in their heads.
Probably, yes.
Stay tuned for the greatest spectacle in racing.
Very distinctive voice, and because he did other stuff. I always thought that Sid at his best was emceeing a banquet. He was a terrific MC.
And look at you here with,
that
speaking of
was
broadcasters,
yeah,
I go from Sid Collins to Ed Sullivan.
There's an Ed Sullivan. That's Wayne Fuson of the Indianapolis News, and Ed Sullivan, who was an old newspaper guy. He'd known Wayne Fuson for years, so he happened to be in town. And
what year is this? Do you
this
suppose?
is 1964. The
Here,
kids.
here you are, talk about staying on the cutting edge with some of the more popular young guns from the last couple of years here at the track.
That was taken probably 2 or 3 years ago. James Hinchcliffe, who went on to be runner-up in Dancing with the Stars.
That's right, yeah.
And then Connor Daly, who's the son of Derek Daly and stepson of Doug Bowles.
There's so many.
yeah.
You and a very young, senior is junior here, right?
That is Al Unser, and his total number of 500 wins at that time was none. This was probably 3 or 4 days before the 1970 500. We were at a function together, and he was on the pole. We knew that already, and then he went on to win the race.
James Garner, well-known Indy 500 fan.
A very, very nice man.
Yeah, everybody. I never met him, but everybody always says that.
He was a delight because he was a genuine race fan. He wasn't one of these people that said, well, it's a thrill to be here. I've never had the opportunity to be here before. Yes, you have. You had the opportunity every year. You just didn't care about it, but he did. And
that's one way of looking at it.
It was funny sometimes because sometimes he would ride in the parade and sometimes he wouldn't. But I remember on race morning, here's the vehicles going out with the celebrities on the back, and here's James Garner looking at them going by, and I said, look, here's the guy over here.
Everybody always says to me, I remember that one year that it snowed out at the, during the race. Sometimes it's during qualifications, sometimes it's during the race, and sometimes it's a little bit of snow, sometimes it's like, we were shoveling it, to get out. It's never actually, has it snowed during a race?
I would say no. In fact, the only time that I remember any snow was a very, very slight flurry was the track opening day in 1989. And it was cold, and I remember that there'd be stuff floating around, but no, it wasn't a storm.
All right. Donald Davidson, back up for the second time on Boomer TV. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And for Boomer TV, I'm Paul Poteet.